My evil stepdad sabotaged my marriage and ruined my life. Now I'm going to ruin his because I found his secret Tinder account.
Secret Tinder account for the stepdad?
Met a girl who I was crazy about, and we started dating. About a year in, I knew this was the girl I was going to marry. I told my mom and stepdad, and they both seemed extremely happy. She was practically part of the family already. My mom gave me her engagement ring, and my dad gave her, which she kept. And I proposed, and she said yes. I was legitimately never happier in my whole gosh darn life. We started wedding planning, and my mom and stepdad said they'd help take care of the finances. It was the first time they'd offered to help me financially, and it really meant a lot.
That's awesome.
Fast forward to about 3 months later. I get a call from my stepdad who said I needed to come over. When I got there, I saw my mom, stepdad, stepbrother, and fiance. I saw her on the couch and could tell she had been crying. Immediately, I thought someone had died and went to go sit next to her when my stepdad stopped me. He started hitting me with accusations of me cheating on her for our entire relationship. I was puzzled and told everyone there I don't even text any women I'm not related to besides her. Apparently, some girl had gotten my fiance's number and told her that we were sleeping together for over a year now.
Ouch.
But she didn't know that I was in a committed relationship. She sent her screenshots of alleged conversations and knew stuff about me that a random person wouldn't know. I, like a fool, couldn't see what was happening right in front of me. I was stunned, saddened, and furious. I begged her from across the room to look at my phone and see I'd never done any of that. Her and my mother were both weeping, and I started to cry. My stepdad called me every word he could think of and escorted me out of the house while telling me if he saw me on his property again, he'd call the police. About 6 months after it all, I moved away from the East Coast and settled out in California. A little less than a year after I moved, I got a call from an area code from back home, which I rarely get anymore. I picked it up, and it was my stepbrother, whom I promptly hung up on. It was like, I don't know, you don't want that kind of stuff in your life anymore, I guess. He called me back and I ignored it, but it stuck with me all day. I decided that if he called again, I'd pick up, which he did later that night. It was awkward at best, and he told me my fiance was really torn up for a long time. It took her nearly a year to even start looking again for a significant other. I hadn't at all since it ended. A few months into her doing so, my stepdad encouraged him to ask her on a date, which he did. Things went okay for the first couple outings, but never really clicked apparently. He told my stepdad about that, and the idiot told him, I didn't get rid of OP for nothing. She's a great girl. You need to figure it out with her.
Oh my God.
I almost collapsed, and it was quickly replaced with anger. Apparently, he had gotten a girl, I still don't know who, to pose as someone I had an affair with and forge some message screenshots to have her send to my fiance. He told me he said it to him about a month ago, and he didn't know what to do. Apparently, it bothered him enough that he couldn't just sit with the info anymore, so he told me and said he was going to tell my mom and fiance the next day. He called me as a courtesy first, so he knew what to say to them regarding me. And John, there is an update, but what would you do in this situation?
How did OP not fight back more?
The stepdad just kicked him out.
If I was in this position, I would do everything in my power to prove. Maybe forget the stepdad. I'm going straight to my ex-fiance.
I would try to get to the bottom of it if I could.
Yeah.
Thing about my stepbrother is he's much smarter than me. Instead of just walking to my mother and fiance with that and getting into a shouting match with his dad, he took a different course that I wouldn't have thought of. Got a hold of my ex's phone and found the girl. Said it took him forever to backtrack it. He gave her a call and got her to meet him out in public. That's where it all came to head. She was a Tinder match with my stepfather, which I think pretty clearly indicates that he had been sleeping around on my mom. That irritated me even more for obvious reasons. She told him what happened. $1,000 for a phone call. That was the deal. He told her what to say and supplied the pictures of evidence. She made the call, and that was that. My stepbrother asked her if she could tell my mother and ex, and even offered to pay her again for the record. She agreed to do it for free, and that happened yesterday. My stepfather is on a business trip until Wednesday, so it was the four of them there. She came in and spilled it all to my mom and ex. Stepbro said the tears started almost immediately from all three of them. And after everything he told them, he said I was in California. So got a call from my mom. I'd be lying if I said I felt nothing, but the pain of it all took hold of me more than her words. I told her that I'd be willing to build some semblance of a relationship back with time, and she was happy with that. She also told me that she was getting all her necessities out of the house before my stepfather got home, and she'd be filing for divorce immediately. I really wish I could have been there to see that prick's face when he came to an empty home. My ex got the phone next and did the same tearful apology my mom did. I felt a little more with her. We talked for half an hour, and I really thought it was pleasant. I even told myself for over a year now that it'd never happen again, but then I thought maybe there could still be something for us. She told me she still had the ring.
Wow.
And it made me upset. I said, any chances of having a future relationship were very slim. And she said she understood that too. And there is one final update. I flew back home. There was a lot of tears and a lot of apologies. I admittedly had a tough time keeping it together. My ex and I had a very long discussion through most of the night. I decided to ask her if she wanted to go out Saturday night. So that's the plan right now. I don't know exactly what's going to happen, but I wanted to show her that I appreciate the effort she's putting in to try to mend what's been broken. It went well. We had a nice dinner together. Got dinner, went to an arcade after, which we used to do somewhat frequently. It's the first date I've been on in nearly a year and a half, and I enjoyed myself a lot. Going to discuss the next steps during this week before I head back to California. That was insane. I can't believe like the lengths people will go just to ruin someone else's life. What would you do in this situation? Also, like, I want to know it from like, if you're hearing this information come at you, where it's like someone's showing you like receipts of text conversations and the other person's like, I have no idea what this is. Like, what kind of digging would you do to make sure that your significant other wasn't lying?
The Voldemort of stepdads over
I know,
here. Just
seriously. Also, have you ever been cheated on? And how did you find out?